Hey all of you, I've somehow managed to get myself, just realised that somehow managed to save it in light mode, so it's a different colour from usual, but anyhow let's just move on. This is something I sent out to subscribers a couple of days ago, and I am still thinking this. Okay, so that's my opinion. I think that this very, very damp rally here after the FOMC yesterday pretty much says all you need to know. You've got all this effort here to end up with a mid-range candle, and see this is on the 8 hour, and if you look at the last time we had that effort, we went down a lot more and ended up low. So this is fighting to get out for me. This candle here, which is the one that when the FOMC comes out is fighting to get out rather than happy to run away as this one was. So anyhow, so for all these signs still pointing the same way. This I've superimposed a picture here, which, as I said, I showed to the others in our subscribers area before. So over what we're looking at here is a redistribution. So this is a distribution, so it comes up and comes down. This one comes down, up, and then along. All of these are what we call consolidations, and so you have to identify the consolidation when it starts, which I hope I did, and I ended up with this. Okay, and I was just drawing it as it went along, and you have to wait and wait and wait to see which one it's going to look like. Well, for me it looks a bit like that one, though as I said earlier, this has come down to this, but it's still behaving like one at the moment, and I'm just watching the volume candles. So that is the thing. I'm still feeling that we could get a rally up to the outside of this again just to catch some last longs, some last shorts, but I'm just not feeling that at the moment. That doesn't, these volume candles, I don't know. Anyway, that's how I'm left. I'm not, if we'd broken up through the midline there and gone up towards the higher reaches, then maybe I'm having another think about it, but we haven't, so I'm leaving it like that and watching for further. Okay, so that's the end of the sort of Bitcoin chat. Shall I ring off, or I'll have a sip of tea and we can maybe look at some other stuff. There isn't, oh yeah, and I wanted to point out that another thing here is that everyone was cock-a-hoop yesterday after FOMC because we got this rally. So if we break it down and come down, if that's an 8 hour, let's give it a 4. Okay, so that was great news, supposedly, price lifting news, and it didn't really make much of an impact. And this is kind of, you can see these two big candles here, they made quite a lot of impact, and this one here, not really that much. I mean, it was a weak old rally. So I wanted to point out that if you look at it in the context of a day, say, let's get rid of this now, it's served its purpose. There's the daily chart, and so has it zoomed up to the top? No. Does it look like it's still weak? Yes. Okay, so that's kind of the Bitcoin thing. Right, I've not got much else to say today. I mean, I hope you guys can hear me. I'm not getting any comments at all. There we go, Matic. Okay. Matic BTC. Okay. I can try and look at it. And I will tell you what I think. So here are the two Bitcoin tops. Looks very much like Bitcoin, so it's just outperformed at the same thing. It's weird, isn't it? Anyway, just looking at the price and asking myself, so what I'm going to do with this is what I do with any chart I look at. You've got to look at the chart and do you recognize any patterns? Is there anything you can think of that just springs by looking at it? The fact that it is Matic against BTC, anyone care? Not really, not if you're looking at pricing. See, as soon as you say to yourself, this is Matic BTC, unless you've studied it before, and so therefore it's important and you've studied the way it looks, and as a result, you know, it is important that it is this pair. When you haven't got it as a pet pair that you know really well, you've got to say to yourself, well, it's a price. Let's have a look. Right, so Matic had a massive outperformance of Bitcoin here, and then didn't. But this was also at the same time, so it's just a high beta Bitcoin. That's what it looks to me. So it's a high beta Bitcoin, so I can kind of use it. When I say high beta, what I mean is though it's gone up over time, so has Bitcoin. So it's kept pace with Bitcoin and in fact outperformed it. But when Bitcoin flies, it really flies. And when Bitcoin collapses, it looks like it collapses. Okay, so that's the sort of thing I'm looking at with this. Right, there's an awful lot of work been done in this area and we've dipped into it. Now, one of the things you could say is a bit like my old one, like every altcoin's the same. If Bitcoin goes down, it goes down. But this isn't an altcoin. This is an altcoin versus an altcoin. But what you can say is that Matic is high beta. In other words, it reacts more than Bitcoin does. And so if Bitcoin goes down, it'll go down more. Okay, so that is what you've got to say to yourself. It's a high beta Bitcoin. So it's very, very vulnerable to both ups and downs in the Bitcoin price. And right now our focus for Bitcoin is down, and so therefore our focus for this should be down. And so you should either be saying to yourself, I'll sell some here and what happens, or you should be saying to yourself, where is a good place to buy? And most of you, I'm sure, will feel that way. Okay, so let's look at where a good place to buy would be. Well, clearly there. Let's get the old, my indicators weren't properly working. Oh, here we go. Yeah, where's it gone? They've changed it, haven't they? Fix frames. I think that's the one. So if we take from here to here, so yeah, you've just dipped into this, and so there's a bit more scope. You know, this is the fat area was just at the bottom of it, and you know, in terms of where would it stop? Well, the next stop is not till down here, where you'll probably see a fair amount of activity. So you've got that another pattern there. Put that line on it. It's got so many zeros in front of it. I don't know how you guys read the hell out of this thing. It's ridiculous. It's about there anyway. What's that? 1488, whatever that is. I know what it is. The fraction of Bitcoin. I get that, but that's just too many zeros. There ought to be things measured in mega bitcoins or something, or milli. No, it'd have to be measured in milli Bitcoin. Okay, so there's some clues. I wouldn't buy it just because I don't like Bitcoin, and if you do want to buy it and you're looking for a level, there's one there. ASX USD. Have I got that? Yeah, that's the one. Right, well, I'm not going to comment on your particular position. I'm going to look at it and say to myself, what do I see? I see a big fat area there, which is going to revisit. Okay, so that is my first feeling. I think even if it goes down from here, it probably ends up coming back up to test this level. That's what I think. Your initial target was 28, it's reached 26, so you should be out. Why would you change your initial target? So you should either be out or have lightened up, because that's your initial target. Unless that's not what you meant by initial target. Because if you've changed your mind, then you have to ask yourself why, because you know you're in the thick of battle now. And this is one of the things, if you watch our psychology video, when you're in the thick of battle, it's a really, really bad time to make decisions. When you're sitting there cold as a cucumber deciding on levels, that's a really good time to make decisions. And so if you've said to yourself, that's my target, you either take it off there, or you take some of the money off the table, or that wasn't your target. One of those is true. So can I help you? Not really, because after all, the history of it doesn't show it down here. We're in new ground. Maybe if you, yeah, let's actually take this down to the nth degree. Go to a 4 hour on it. So the only evidence you have here is that there's a fair amount of biz there, isn't there? There's an MP there. And so it's going to perhaps touch it on the downside again before it makes a decision. So you've basically got the centre there. Actually, the centre of that is lower. It's about there. So that's all the guidance I can give you. It's about 30.11. It was so weak and dropping like a rock, got too greedy, still sitting on very good profits. Okay, well good, that's good to hear. You took some off the table, that's nice. Oh, as in you're sitting on them and don't know what to do. That's very different. You haven't actually lost them. You have no gains at all. You have none. Not until you do something about it. You haven't got any. And if you ever think differently, then you're wrong. Because it puts pressure on you. That's why it's nice to have, how your trade's going to go. I mean, there are trades obviously that you want to mess with a bit more, but in general, one should at least have an initial target where you sell some. That greed is incredible, isn't it? It just overtakes you. I think this is really falling like a stone. It's never coming back. Well, one thing you could have done easily was just change your stop loss. So once it went through 28, yeah, or through 29, say, stop yourself out. So if it carried on going down, you would have been fine. Just trail your stop a bit if you're making good money. I mean, you have to leave a little bit for the next man. You can't get the tops and the bottoms. Right, I hope that was interesting. Is there anything else before I close up shop? Just a short one today. There's not much to say because I haven't changed my mind. Just recapping for those Bitcoiners. As I say, this is a picture we showed to our subscribers a few days ago. And it's still looking like it. It still looks weak. So, take it easy. See you all on the other side.